All right, let's jump into it now. Nick Fuentes got banned on Gitter again. I found out about it from these two fine gentlemen and their accounts. Now, Reed Coverdale is a libertarian that has been trying his damnedest to get banned on Gitter. Him and Justin O'Donnell have really been working very, very hard at getting banned on Gitter, and they have had several posts taken down, but they have not yet been banned. Now, I covered this the other day on the channel. I covered it on Monday, I think, on the stream, that Gitter is absolutely removing posts that it does not like. It doesn't notify the users when they're removing them, and it just takes them down. But that's really kind of all they're doing, except for Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is apparently persona non grata at Gitter. I talked about how on Monday he was banned apparently for saying the word groiper, but I've posted the word groiper on Gitter several times just to test it, and they haven't done anything about it. So I don't actually think that term is like banned on the platform or anything, but that's what they said they banned Nick Fuentes for. And so last night, apparently, he tried to join a second time, and they banned him again. Within like 15 minutes of him joining, they tried to ban him again. Let's read about what happened. This is the only, I don't really like National File. I think they're really alarmist and ridiculous and like alt-righty, but they were the only ones I could find covering it. So we're going to talk about what that is. So let's read this article on National File, which is an alt-right crazy website, but it is the resource we have for this moment. Gitter repeatedly bans America First streamer for no reason and refuses to explain. America First streamer Nick Fuentes has been repeatedly banned from Gitter, the platform run by former Trump advisor Jason Miller, for seemingly no reason. Lisa Bell says Nick, or one of his mods, banned me from his website, so I have a hard time sympathizing. Nick Fuentes had me banned on Twitter when he was still on Twitter, even though I defended him. I don't like Nick Fuentes. In fact, I effing hate when I have to defend Nick Fuentes. But when they put him on the no-fly list, I defended him. But he did block me on Twitter like a little bitch that couldn't take it. Because he is the most obviously repressed gay man in the universe. That guy wants a dick in the ass more than any other guy I've ever seen in my life. Okay, never mind. We're going back to being principled and defending free speech. Fuentes, the host of the popular nightly show America First, was initially banned from Gitter, a supposed free speech alternative to Twitter, at the end of last month. Earlier this week, Elijah Schaffer of The Blaze contacted Gitter, who Schaffer says told him Fuentes violated their terms of service, but did not specify violations or what posts contained them. My inquiry was extremely professional and predicated on the basis that the public deserves to know Gitter's threshold for banning users, largely in part due to their users joining to avoid the very censorship practices they seem to be implementing, Schaffer said, saying the obtuse nature of Fuentes' banning made him suspicious of the platform. I totally agree with Elijah. I 100% agree with him. I think Gitter needs to be a whole heck of a lot more transparent in how they're banning people. And I'm going to talk about that because I have a helpful suggestion. I have come up with tips. I've come up with a really good plan that I really think Gitter should implement. Not that they're ever going to listen to me. They're not. Let's just be really clear. Gitter's not going to listen to me in any way, shape, or form. But that doesn't mean I don't have a good plan. I've got a really good idea. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay. Fuentes attempted to rejoin the platform multiple times on Tuesday evening, but was banned shortly after each time, even as viewers watched on his live stream. If I go on there and they ban me for being me, well, what is that? It's arbitrary, it's discretionary, and when they ban Groiper, it takes it to a different level. Now, again, just to be clear, Gitter, so far as I understand it, like I can type in the term Groiper. It's fine. You can see I just posted it. It didn't block me. Gitter actually does when you type in certain words on Gitter, and I'm not going to type those words in because they're words I don't use, and I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. But like Gitter does actually have a thing where if you type in words it doesn't like, it'll say, nope, can't post that. But Groiper doesn't seem to be banned. Let's see. Fuentes said on his stream, referring to previous reports from the Daily Beast and others, that Gitter had banned the term Groiper from their platform, a name used to describe supporters of Fuentes. The ban would seem to stand in direct contrast to Gitter's supposed free speech mentality. In October last year, Miller was asked on Twitter if he would ever cancel anyone for their political opinions. Miller proudly responded in the negative, claiming that cancel culture doesn't happen at Gitter. This is why I have a problem with this man. They're absolutely taking down posts they don't like. They're absolutely banning people. And again, it's like, I don't like Nick Fuentes, but if Nick Fuentes didn't do anything wrong, then he really shouldn't be banned. Arizona State Senators Wendy Rogers, a well-known supporter of the America First agenda, slammed Gitter for the ban, saying that they would be no better than Twitter if they refused to restore his account. Free speech is free speech, Rogers continued, arguing that if conservatives who are upset about Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's recent Twitter ban, but not Fuentes' ban, then we have a problem. Well, a little update came out just a little bit ago. This from Elijah Schaffer's Twitter account. After speaking directly to Gitter, not only am I shadow banned on their platform, but they indirectly admitted they ban people based on behavior outside their platform, not by direct TOS violations. So as of now, this is not a free speech platform, and Elijah's got this showing that it doesn't seem like he's coming up. Let's just check on mine. So let's do a comparison. I come right up. Okay. I come right up on mine. Let's see. Oh, might want to delete me from this. Bing. Elijah Schaffer. I think I'm spelling that right. Does Elijah have one F or two? I don't even know anymore. Two F's. ELIJAHSCHAFFER. Elijah Schaffer. He didn't preload. He is shadow banned on Gitter. He didn't preload when I typed it in. Let's just do it again. ELIJAHSCHAFFER. They shadow banned Elijah Schaffer for asking about it. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. Let's see what they said. Hang on. I'm afraid we've nothing more to say on this, but Jason has been on the record many times talking about how we do not tolerate hate speech, racism, discrimination, or recruiting for white nationalism causes on our platform. Thank you. But what did Nick Fuentes actually do? And again, I want to emphasize, I do not like Nick Fuentes. Don't like him. Think he's a bad guy. Think he believes bad things because he is a deeply sexually repressed person, because he will not admit that he is gay. And therefore it manifests in all sorts of weird ways, because sometimes when we're really, side note, sometimes when we're very sexually repressed people, sexual repression causes so many problems. Like, I don't know why people do this to themselves. Sex is a natural thing. Just, like what you like. Who the hell cares? But when we are deeply sexually repressed, sometimes we manifest that in weird ways, like becoming raging white nationalists, like Nick Fuentes. So I don't like the guy. But if he didn't do anything wrong, then he shouldn't be banned. I am sorry. He should not be banned for off-platform behavior that makes absolutely no sense. Wait for him to break the rules, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, and then ban him. But something does not sit right with me when we have a platform saying they're a free speech platform that are not only banning people for off-platform behavior when they haven't even done anything on the platform yet, but are also removing posts without notifying the people that they're removing posts and not providing any explanation, and not having a clear set of rules and guidelines, and shadow banning Elijah Schaffer, who's one of my favorite people in this whole game. He's one of the only authentic people actually doing content. Like, they've gone a step too goddamn far, and they need to rein this in. And I say this with love because I am genuinely enjoying Gitter. The energy on Gitter, the vibe on Gitter is so much better than it is on Twitter. Twitter is like a hellscape cesspool of a website where everyone is mad. Everyone assumes that everyone else is mad. Tone is read into everything. I had a phone call earlier today with a guy that he was like, well, you said these mean things to me on Twitter. I was like, I didn't mean them that way. Why did you assume I was being mean? This happens all the time because Twitter is a hellscape cesspool of a website. Gitter has been so nice It has like a nice vibe. I'm really enjoying the community. Like, I don't want Gitter to suck. Gitter, I want you to be successful. This is why I'm going to provide you with some helpful suggestions about how to moderate content. The Dashing Rogue says Nick was not placed on the no-fly list. The video, which was used as proof, shows the flight attendant stating she was not sure he is just a drama queen. I mean, I don't know about that, man. I don't think the no-fly list should exist. So I'm not going to get into that whole debate, but if he was put on it, it's wrong because the no-fly list shouldn't exist in the first place. So what should we do about this? What should we do? And by the way, guys, if you're on Gitter, and I would encourage you to be, listen, man, Gitter is still a very new platform. They're doing a really good job. They haven't crashed at all. They've had extreme growth, and they have not crashed at all. They're working it out. This is what happens when you have a new platform. I do not want to dissuade people from joining Gitter. In fact, I think you should join Gitter. And if you do, you can follow me at Carlin. It is just my first name. I will be interacting way more on Gitter than I am on Twitter right now because I hate Twitter and I'm really enjoying Gitter a lot more. So I don't want to say any of this as a way to dissuade you from joining Gitter. I think people should join and have faith that they're going to work this out. They're going to figure it out. We're going to willpower them into figuring it out. But I have some thoughts. This is something I've been thinking about quite, frankly, more than I should be thinking about it. Here's my first thought. Let me make this a little bit bigger so we can all see it a little bit better. Okay, here's my first thought. Hear me out. If the worst thing Gitter does when someone breaks the rules is to take down the post, but not do a stupid suspension or ban or anything, just removing offensive content, I might be able to wrap my head around that. I still don't like it and I want clear guidelines, but if all they do is remove a post, that could be okay. Now, Jake says, why not join Gab? I am on Gab. Gab is awful. I cannot go on Gab without being called a Jewish slur of some sort. And this is funny, right? Because Newsweek says I'm an anti-Semite. When I go on Gab, the real anti-Semites, the really bad people, they call me a Jew. And they say many worse things. So I'm not I understand Gitter's position here because I don't want Gitter to be Gab. And there's a lot of things about Gab I like, but I don't like being called a word that starts with a K and ends with Ike every single time I'm on the platform because the anti-Semites hate me. The real ones. So I don't want Gitter to become Gab. So I do think that there needs to be something. And maybe, and I'm definitely asking for your guys' feedback on this, maybe if it's, and I'm not talking about Fuentes for a second, we're going to talk about banning people. I've got another idea for that. But is it okay? Could we all live with a platform in which if someone made a post breaking the rules, that post was taken down, and of course you as an individual on that platform could make the decision to block that individual based on offensive posts that you don't like, but the person doesn't get suspended or banned or anything else. Just the post removed. No suspension, no ban, no taking someone out of the public square. Just saying, you know what, this violates this clear rule that we've clearly laid out, because I do think that Gitter needs to provide extremely clear guidelines for what is and is not allowed on the platform. Right now, their terms of service are a little bit nebulous for me. But they take the post down, not the person down. I can almost live with that. But then we're going to say, okay, what happens if someone does something that is exceptionally egregious? Exceptionally egregious. Well, I have a plan for that too. Here's my idea. I think that we should make this a community project. If Gitter ever decides to ban more accounts, not just the arbitrary banning of Nick Fuentes when he didn't do anything wrong, if they decide to ban more people, there should be a process by which the community can consider the charges against the offender and vote on whether or not they should be banned. So here's how I envision this happening. Gitter identifies an offender of some sort, a Nick Fuentes-like character. And they're like, your posts are so egregious, it is not enough just to take the post down. because we've been taking the post down and you keep making the same offensive posts. We think that you should be banned off the entire platform. So Gitter makes that determination. And then Gitter has a chance to present their case to the community. They can maybe suspend the account temporarily, whatever, but they have to present their case to the community. Gitter presents its case about, here's the account we want to ban. Here are the multiple offenses that this account has engaged in. Here are the terms of service that they broke specifically. Here's how many times they broke the terms of service. Should we ban them, yay or nay? And then you get the community to vote on whether or not that person should be banned based on Gitter making the case. I think this is a good idea. I do. I think it's a good idea because it holds the bar pretty high. Gitter has got to make a case for it, and it allows the community to keep it in check, and it's got to be crystal clear, right? Again, having a very clear set of guidelines. Here is what is not allowed on our platform. Here are the number of chances that we're going to give you. Here's the number of posts that we are going to remove. And here is our determination. Our determination is that this person should be off the platform. What do you think? I think this is a good idea. Because this is not about, they're not crowdsourcing the ban. They've already made the decision they want to ban it. What this is doing is giving the community giving the community on Gitter a way to keep a check on the tech overlords to say, no, 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 no. No, no, no. So I don't view this the same as like a cancel culture mob, because what we're doing is either upholding the decision and saying, yeah, he's done some shit. He has. And people can rally people. People can get other people to vote. There can be a voting window. If you really care, you have to get your vote in during the voting window. Or the community has the opportunity to say, you know what? Valid, Gitter. Valid. We don't want this person on the platform. So at least it's a two-step process. At least there's checks and balances. And the other thing that it would do is it would make it really obvious if Gitter is abusing its power to ban people. Because if Gitter is just going to start banning every single flipping person off the platform, they're going to have to make cases all the time. Like, the person's behavior would actually be egregious. It would have to be egregious for Gitter to put them up for a permanent ban instead of just taking down the posts. I think that this brings a lot more people into it. I like the check and balance of it. I don't know. It's better than them having unilateral decision making based on a nebulous set of ideas. It gives the community a way to police itself. Maybe it's an opportunity for Gitter even to improve whatever terms of service it might have, to say, you know what, we're going to evolve this over time as we learn and grow what it means to be we're going to learn what it means to be a free speech platform in a way that we don't want to become Gab. We don't want to become the crazy website. And I think that this would also put more ownership on the community to say, if you don't like someone's content, block them. It's your account. You can do what you want. So, of course, there would have to be more definition brought into the terms, but I think that this is a good idea. And I think it could work. That's my 2 cents on what Gitter should do in order to stop banning people arbitrarily, because I really want to see them be successful. I'm really enjoying it. I think everyone should be on Gitter. There's improvements I would like them to make. I would like a direct messaging feature. I would like an edit button. I don't know why they launched this without an edit button. But it's also in Gitter's best interest to figure this out, man, because Trump's social network, Truth Social or whatever it's called, is coming. The Trump network is coming. A lot of people are invested in the Trump network. Now, I actually think it's going to be a big flop. I think they're going to screw it up because that just tends to be how it goes. But Gitter's got an opportunity to get out in front of this. And if people are continuing to turn against it because they're banning people arbitrarily for things they didn't even do on the platform, that's going to be a problem when you're talking about a free speech platform.